Hey everyone, this is Dave with eSells eBikes. I just am so proud today to be able to introduce the Monstar SE edition. These were Christmas presents for all my eSells followers, and these are just the most powerful bikes I've ever built. This is more powerful than my Triple Crown. May not have all the features of the Triple Crown, but for what we charge for this bike is absolutely the best value for a powerful bike like this. We have competitors that are trying to build something that's going to compete with this Monstar. And I wish you luck. We already broke the world's record for a hub drive e-bike. We went 50 miles an hour with these. These bikes are dangerous. Each and every one of you signed a waiver recognizing that, and I appreciate that. I don't recommend riding these bikes at that kind of speed. But one thing I can say is this thing eats predators. Please be careful riding these. We're going to have Nick, who's my videographer, doing all the video, and we're going to have Gator doing all the assembly. We're going to put this together here, let you see this bike and enjoy. Thank you for your time and efforts and your purchases. I appreciate you all.
Hey everybody, Gator with eSells eBikes. Today we're putting together the Monstar, and here is our first chance to see what this beast is all about. Today we're going to assemble a Monstar. For this assembly we will need a pair of cutters for the zip ties and the cable ties on the bike, a 21 millimeter axle wrench. This is supplied with the bike that's in your utility box. We will need a Phillips screwdriver. For our combination box wrenches, a 16 millimeter, a 12 millimeter, a 10 millimeter, and an 8 millimeter. For Allen wrenches in today's assembly, we will need a number 2, a number 3, a number 4, a number 5, and guess what comes next, guys? A 6. As you saw when the bike was in the box, it's easiest to undo the seat post clamp, remove the seat post. That way you can get your accessory box out. And to make it a little bit easier to remove the box from the bike, as you saw, we cut the front wheel free from the zip ties, remove the front wheel first. Our next stage will be we're going to remove all of the wrapping and get this bike ready to assemble so we can show you how to put it together properly to get riding and riding right.
Hey guys, your Monstar is going to come with flat tires. Don't freak out because I've included free, unannounced, not listed, my air pump. So use this to pump your tires up. You're welcome.
Now, if you've noticed on this Monstar, these are CST roly-polies. These inflate to 30 PSI. Okay, we've got our tires aired up on your front wheel when you removed it. You should have had your fender, the rods to attach the fender to the bike, and your front axle caps. In your accessory box, inside you should have literature on the bike, your charger. These are the plates to affix the fender, your eSells micro air pump like Mr. Cleveland mentioned, your accessory kit or accessory tools, your pedals, your cargo strap. This is for your front and rear axles, the wrench to be able to put them on, a couple spare wrenches, does pedals, etc., and a derailleur guard. If any of those are missing in your accessory box, please notify us and let us know so that we can get that taken care of and you the proper stuff sent out immediately. Would like to note the Monstar's charger is already set up with a Y-cord splitter in it. This one charger can charge both batteries at the same time on the bike. Okay, as usual, we're going to start this assembly by putting the handlebars on first. To do so, I'm going to use a number 6 Allen wrench. We will unlock the gooseneck, put it in the upright position, and tighten that down. Now with a number 4 Allen, we'll remove the 4 screws from the neck assembly so that we can place the handlebars in. These are the braces for your headlight. Just open them up so it's out of the way and your handlebars can sit in. This is obviously wrong. Display is not facing me and the levers are facing me. Turn it around so the handlebars are in proper riding position. And now we'll attach the handlebars. If you notice, I'm not tightening these screws down yet. This way I can rotate the handlebars into the riding position I would like with my brakes. Now that it is there, I will go ahead and tighten down. Next thing we're going to do is take the keys off and remove the batteries. Do yourself a favor. Remove these batteries. Now they can be charging while we finish the bike assembly, and we removed over 20 pounds of weight from the bike when we're trying to handle it. Okay, to remove our front battery, insert the key, turn to the unlocked position. Now that the battery's in the unlocked position, we push the slide underneath, remove the battery, key back to the lock position. Now I can remove them. These keys will not come out of the bike if the key is not in the lock position. Okay, for a rear battery, we insert the keys, rotate forward for the unlocked position, and remove. Sometimes they're a little sticky in removing. Just give it a little bit of extra oomph and it'll come right back out. Rear battery keys. They can remove when the key is in the unlocked position. So to know that you're in the locked position after inserting a battery, always rotate to the back of the bike. Okay, we have our batteries removed and we're going to go ahead and hook them up to the charger. Bang. If we notice, plug the rear battery in, the charger turned from green to red, indicating it's charging. We're going to go ahead and plug the front battery in as well. We're still red, and if we notice, when I unplug the rear battery, still red because the front battery is still charging. Our new front battery for this bike, this is a 25 amp hour battery. This thing's a beast. Actually, it's not a beast, it's a Monstar. Okay, we're getting ready to flip this bike over to install the front wheel assembly and to put the plates on the front wheel for the fender. Before we do that, I'm going to make sure that this display is rotated out of the way. And right now, the power buttons and everything are facing up. Even though the batteries aren't in the bike and it can't accidentally turn on and activate, I still want to make sure I don't damage these in any way. So I am going to use a number 3 Allen. And we're going to loosen the 1, 2, 3 switch. That is your motor control switch. And once that's turned out of the way, I can take a Phillips screwdriver, loosen those, and now I can rotate those out of the way as well. And now we're ready to flip the bike over onto the handlebars upside down. Believe me, this is not a bike that you want to be doing this with those batteries in. It's extremely heavy. We're ready for the front wheel assembly, But look at our forks. We got this fork sitting way up here, turned sideways. This fork's way down here, turned sideways. Well, these are downhill style forks, so they compress from the bottom to the top of the bike instead of from the top to the bottom of the bike. And that means these are independent. Look at that. Turn it the direction it has to face. Same with this side. And on this side, you can pull it up to meet the axle. One side is compression, one side is rebound. That's why the one side is loose with the play. We're going to use our number 5 Allen. Remove the retaining pins for our no drop dropout. With the retaining pins removed, we'll remove the brake pad spacer. It's only there to protect your brake pads during shipping. We just pull that out. Okay, our wheel assembly. One side is just an axle nut only, your motor wire side. Your brake disc side is your axle nut, a washer, and a dropout washer or a lock washer. This lock washer is facing with the nipple out, indicating it goes to the inside of the fork. I'm making sure that the rotor is going into the opening for the brake pads. We tighten this side down. Like I said, oh no, look, it doesn't line up. Don't worry about it. Just pick the fork up into it. And we can now tighten this down. Okay, we've removed the plates, but you need to pay attention. Inside the bag are 2 small screws. And these are the screws that affix the plate to the fork. Once again, if you didn't get those, please send us an email and let us know so we can correct the situation and have you riding properly and safely. And just like the Triple Crown, even if you don't want to put the front fender on, I really recommend putting this plate on. See how this plate fits on? There's no room for the axle to be able to spin. So not only do we have a no drop dropout pinning this in, now you have this plate on as well. This axle cannot go anywhere. We have the plate on, our little back screw here, a number 2 Allen, and at the top of the plate is a notch or a beveled hole where this is going to go. And now we're just going to tighten it down. Make sure when you're putting this on that you get this screw head in as tight and as flush as possible. With the screw in, we'll now go ahead, put our axle bolt on, and now we're going to go ahead, crank this bolt down and secure it. For our motor connection side, plate goes on the same way. See how the screw is sitting in flush? That's what you want. Now you know when you put that axle nut on, it's not going to catch this and damage that screw head and create problems for you later. Well, we got the bike upside down and everything's exposed, easy to get to. We'll go ahead and put the front axle caps on. We're going to go ahead and hook the front motor connection up. Now the front motor connection is keyed. And what I mean by that is if we look on this end, there's a notch. If we look on this end, the motor side, there is a notch. We also have an arrow and an arrow. It's very important that you line these up. I'm pushing the connection together. I give it a couple turns. Push the connection together, a couple more turns. Make sure that connection is good and tight. I've found even a little bit of slack, such as this, that little bit is enough to interfere with the pedal assist or sometimes the throttle. And all it was, there's nothing wrong with your torque sensor, your cadence sensor, or your throttle. This is just a hair loose. We'll now come to the front of the forks and we'll reinstall our security pins and tighten down. Next, we're going to put the pedals on. Pedals are marked right and left. Left is your non-chain side. Right is the chain side. We'll use a number 16 box wrench. And tighten down. Well, we still have the bike upside down. I'm going to go ahead and put the derailleur guard on that came with the bike. We have our derailleur guard in position, and with our number 5 Allen, we're just going to go ahead and tighten that down. So let's go ahead and turn the bike upright again. Now we can finish with the fender assembly, put that headlight on. Okay, for the fender, if we notice, this side from the hole to the end of the fender is longer than this side. And we also have posts that are 2 different sizes, a long and a short. Quite simply, short to short, long to long. Your long posts are the front of the mount and your short posts are the back of the mount. We also have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 washers. So everybody gets a washer. We'll assemble the fender and then put it on the bike. On this part of the fender assembly, I'm not tightening everybody down because I'm going to want to be able to manipulate these when I put it on the bike. Short side of the fender facing the back of the bike. I'm going to bring the fender through, let all the posts drop down. Washer and bolt to the outside, nylock nut to the inside. We're going to set our fender into the riding position we'd like it in. Number 8 combination wrench on the backside to hold the nut, and a number 4 Allen. And just get everybody tightened down. After that, we'll go ahead and make sure we tighten these as well. Does no good to have this tight if that's loose. Okay, now we're ready to install the headlight. We got our brackets in the forward position, and your headlight will be located right inside of your helmet. Just remove the plastic bag from your helmet. There's your headlight. You have an opening in your headlight that the wire comes out. This is the bottom of the headlight. This should be facing the ground. Okay, to install the headlight, we're just going to remove this bolt. We have the bolt, a silver washer, putting those on the outside of the mount, and the rubber washer on the inside. And we're just going to tighten her down. I'm not going to put the wrench to it yet because, as always, we may need to manipulate the other side, and it's much easier to do when it's loose. And now we'll go ahead and tighten these down. We'll tighten down the mounts for the headlight, and then we'll make all these wire harness connections. Number 10 combination box wrench on the outside, and a number 5 Allen to tighten these mounts up. Okay, the only thing we have left is to make our wire harness connections and reinstall the batteries. Don't let all of these wires scare you. Everything is color coded. Blue goes to blue. Just like the motor connection when we talked about it, these are keyed. It's very important to line those arrows up before you try and make that connection. The triangle ones, they're a triangle, so they don't have to be necessarily keyed because it's a triangle. Top side's a little bigger than the bottom, so it's only going to plug in one direction. These small red ones that I'm presently doing, these are your brake switch activators. This yellow triangle here, this is our throttle. This green one here, this is our display. This round yellow one here, oh my gosh, matches the round yellow one on the headlight. And the blue wire we plugged in first, that's going to be your turn signals. You have 2 keys for the rear battery, 2 keys for the front. Separate them. Make it into 2 sets. That way you have an emergency set at home. Otherwise, lose one, lose them all. Battery's fully seated in. Turn to the lock position. Remove the keys. All right, let's fire this Monstar up. Center button, the power button. We're reading 2 batteries. We're reading that both motors are active. We've just put it into rear motor only. Only the rear motor or rear wheel is lit up. The front motor's white because we're in rear motor only. Okay, now we're going to put it in front motor only and test the front motor now. We're going to turn the headlight on. Hold the up arrow for a few seconds. The headlight is on. Up arrow for a few seconds. And the headlight's off. And turn signal. Left turn. We come to the back of the bike. It's indicating left turn. Right turn. Indicating right turn. Brake light. We hope this video was informational and helps you new Monstar owners get your bike running to proper potential as quickly as possible. I hope you enjoy your bikes as much as I'm going to enjoy this ride. But never forget, always wear your helmet.